So, one of the big things that people are talking about right now in the world of gaming is the fact that Mortal Kombat is one of the next franchises that's going to be doing a crossover with Fortnite, and pretty much everyone has saw the trailer, the collaboration trailer that came out, featured the likes of Katana, Raiden, and I think Scorpion was in it as well, and yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't think I'd see Mortal Kombat of all games come to Fortnite, mainly because Mortal Kombat historically, for the most part, has been M rated, with the blood and the gore and the violence and stuff like that. And it's been a fighting game, it's a game within the fighting genre, or the franchise has been within the fighting genre since the 90s for the most part. And again, Fortnite is basically a shooter game, and a lot of people feel like I mean, fighting and shooting. I guess they go hand in hand because they involve some type of combat, but at the same time, um, Mortal Kombat has been known for like melee and stuff like that, and I guess you can use that in Fortnite as well, and and I feel like the stuff that's being added, like the patches that add like new locations and stuff, they're quite interesting. And the reason I say that is because they feature iconic locations or iconic stages from the Mortal Kombat series. And this is supposed to be something that's going to be a part of the Chapter 6 Season 2 map. The pit from Mortal Kombat 2 is going to be in it, the Living Forest, and the Deadpool from Mortal Kombat 2 from 1993 is going to be in it, and basically it is re-imaged versions of those stages. And a lot of people feel like Mortal Kombat 2 was probably the best game in the entire franchise, at least during the 90s. And there's a lot of things that was iconic about it. It was hard as hell. The graphics look crisp. The character sprites was much better than what we got in Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 3. And I do feel like a lot of people are going to be drawn to this because Fortnite already has a massive player count, and I feel like Mortal Kombat is still culturally relevant to a point where people will like look at this and know what it is, and they probably want to check it out for themselves. And I find it funny how like this is getting more of a buzz than Mortal Kombat 1, the video game from 2023, because despite all the DLC characters that that game has gotten over the past like year or so, it doesn't seem like too many people are really talking about it. A lot of people feel like it's overrated. Some people feel like, I don't know, this game is slow compared to Mortal Kombat 11 or vice versa. Um, I don't know. A lot of people will go on record and tell you that the last really good Mortal Kombat game we got was either Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat 10. But, that whole thing is subjective, and I guess it depends on how you look at things. But I do feel like, Mortal Kombat is still culturally relevant to a point where we're getting like, player skins and stuff like that in different games like Fortnite. And we're supposed to be getting a new Mortal Kombat film a little bit later this year in October. And, I honestly feel like it's going to be good because the last one was pretty good. The last Mortal Kombat film that we got in theaters was the one that came out in 2021. It was distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, and yeah, it was a film that had a budget of 55 million and it actually did well in terms of box office revenue because I think it did like over 84 mil or something like that. And I'm not exactly sure what the budget for this upcoming Mortal Kombat 2 movie is, but it looks like it's going to be edgy. It looks like it's going to be something that people can sink their teeth into. There's going to be a lot of profanity because I guess people saw footage of that with Johnny Cage, using the F bomb and all that stuff. So yeah, I do feel like this year is going to be a year where a lot of people are going to be focusing on Mortal Kombat a little bit more so than they did last year. Um, a lot of people are waiting for the Mortal Kombat, game to come out sometime in the future. What I mean by that, I'm talking about the game that's going to follow the Mortal Kombat title that we got in 2023, because obviously we're going to get a sequel at some point. And I wouldn't say that, Mortal Kombat 1 from 2023 was necessarily a failure. In fact, I feel like it was a success. It's just that people probably had higher expectations and they probably thought it was going to be better than some of the older ones. But regardless of what people have to say, Mortal Kombat from 2023 actually did like somewhere around the ballpark of 5 million in terms of sales. And honestly, that's actually pretty good in this day and age, because a lot of video games have a hard time surpassing 2 or 3 million in terms of sales. So I feel like over time, um, Mortal Kombat 1 from 2023 will be within striking distance of selling as much as Mortal Kombat 11 from 2019. But but yeah, I feel like Mortal Kombat coming to Fortnite is actually pretty interesting. It's something I did not expect. Um, and I do feel like it's something that people will be able to sink their teeth into. Um, I wouldn't be shocked if more characters from the Mortal Kombat series and or more, stages from the older games, appeared as like, DLC or whatever for Fortnite in the future. In fact, I feel like that's something that should happen because, nostalgia is something that always sells if done right and if marketed right. And I do feel like that might be the case with Mortal Kombat being in Fortnite. But yeah, I mean, I do feel like for the most part, this is something that a lot of people are going to check out. It's something that I feel is going to bring more eyes to Mortal Kombat if they kind of just like forgotten about it already. But I highly doubt that's going to be the case. And I do feel like this year is actually going to be a pretty big year for the Mortal Kombat franchise in general.